Okay, so moving on to our third light. Um, what I'd like to do is create a spotlight that we can use to illuminate this text in the back along the wall here. So let's go ahead and go to Layer, New Light, and let's call this Spotlight 2. Make sure Spotlight's selected, intensity 100. Set your cone angle to 35 degrees if it isn't already. Cone feather 45. Cast shadow is definitely on, and click OK. Okay, there we go. What I'd like to do is hover my mouse over my blue Z arrow and push this lamp forward in Z space until we get a nice small circle of illumination. Just something, yeah, just something like that. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and move this up to about there. And what I want to do is grab that point of interest. I think I'm going to go ahead and scrub forward in my timeline a bit to get a little closer here. Yes. Okay. Now I want to grab that point of interest, not the lamp, just a point of interest, and move it over to the word lights. Okay, and I don't actually like how far this shadow is sitting. I'd like it to be a little tighter. So what I'm going to do is move it back a little bit in Z space. Okay, bring those shadows in, and then I'm going to actually move it down a bit. I went up a little too far. Let's see. Yes, like so. Move the point of interest in. Maybe it wouldn't hurt to shrink them up a little bit more and bring them in a little bit. Let's see. Okay. And let's see how it's going to look under camera. Looks good. I like it. We're good. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and scrub back out for a second here. Now the one thing that I don't like about this scene now is I don't like how this back wall is lit up, because I think that this moving shadow along the building here and the shadow being cast along the dirt floor, I really think that that's the most powerful part of the scene. And I'm worried that if I light up this back wall, we got these symbols back here, you know, these letters that people will try and read. The viewer's going to look right at, like, why is this back wall lit up? And it's right in the center, so you're kind of drawn into it. So what I want is I want this lamp to be off until we've actually passed these moving shadows and those buildings. You know, somewhere right around here is when I want the light to turn on. So how we do that is we select Spotlight and press T for intensity. Okay, you can also just twirl these things down, twirl down your light options, and there's intensity. But if you have both of these open and you can click on a different keyframe so easily, it's actually just faster and tighter just to hit T for intensity. Quick tip here, if you're on a layer and you hit T, you get opacity. If you're on a light and you hit T, you get intensity. Okay, and I would like this light to be off until right before the camera stops moving. So let's go ahead and, how about around 2 seconds, 18 frames. I'm going to go ahead and set the intensity percentage down to 0. And I'm going to click the stopwatch and set a keyframe right there. I'm going to move forward. See, it stops at 3 seconds. How about 2 seconds, 28 frames? We'll bring the light up to full intensity again, 100%. And that way there's just the slightest touch of movement right there at full intensity. Okay? Just like that. So here's what we're doing. Okay? We can see our shadows. Everything's looking cool. We're coming into our wall. And then our spotlight turns on. Lights. Okay. Now, of course, this light is only illuminating lights right now, and we wanted to also illuminate camera and action. And maybe we'll do that over a 2.5 second sweep of the point of interest. So what we want to do is set a keyframe for the point of interest. And 3 seconds. I'm going to actually go up to, we'll let it sit for just a few frames. So how about 3 seconds, 3 frames, you know, and we can adjust the tempo of this after we set our keyframes. So now I'm going to highlight, spotlight, and I'm going to press A. A brings up your point of interest. I have no idea why it's A, but I guess because P brings up your position. Okay, so anyway, A brings up point of interest. You can also just open up your transform controls here, top one, point of interest. Okay, so A, point of interest. Set a keyframe right at, looks like 3 seconds, 3 frames. Okay, and let's go ahead and move up. Oh, let's move up to the 5 second mark. How's that? Maybe a little less. I don't want a full 2 seconds just for that sweep. Let's go to 4 seconds, 15 frames. Okay, 4 seconds, 15 frames. Grab that point of interest and go ahead and just move it over to action. All right. Now, before we move the playhead anymore, let's go ahead and hit T for intensity again, and let's set another keyframe. Don't change the value yet. Just set another keyframe by clicking on the diamond. Okay. Move forward. Oh, what did we do here? We did 218. Okay, we did 10 frames. So let's go ahead and move up here 10 frames. So up to 25. Okay, and right there, let's go ahead and bring the intensity down again. Oops, not O, but 0. Okay, let's check. So that's what we're doing. We're going to check the tempo in a RAM preview next, but let's just move forward here. This is what we're looking for. We want that light to turn on. Lights, camera, action, and it's going to fade out. Okay. Cool, I'm going to hit save real quick. And I'm going to do a RAM preview, and we're going to just check our work so far. Okay, well, depending on your machine, that may or may not take a few minutes to get a RAM preview loaded. But here we go. Let's have a look. Looking good. All right, there we go. I think that looks just fine. Okay, last, let's bring in our sound effects. So we got the windmill sound effects here. I'm going to go ahead and drop that in as a layer. I'm going to twirl down my options. And right now we see the audio levels is set to 0 decibels, which is where we want. Let's go ahead and look at our waveform here. Okay, so things are good. This piece just opens right up to motion and this scene, so I don't think we need to fade the volume in at all. I think we can just start right up. So I want the sound effects to go, and right when this light starts to fade out here, that's when I'd like to fade out the audio. So let's go ahead and, how about at 4 seconds, 15 frames, keyframe the stop, or hit the stopwatch instead of keyframe for audio levels. Keep them at 0 decibels. Let's go ahead and move forward. Oh, how about 5 seconds, 15 frames, okay? And at 5 seconds, 15 frames, go ahead and drop the audio down to negative 48 decibels. Okay, as you can see here from the waveform, we have audio. Right here it starts to drop out. And although you can't really see it right here, you're still going to be able to hear it. Till about here, it's just going to disappear. Okay, nice audio, long audio fade. Okay, so let's go ahead and preview this. Make sure, it should be, but make sure that your little speaker icon is on right here so that we can hear this. And let's do a final RAM preview. Okay, we got our RAM preview loaded and our audio is on. Let's go ahead and check this out. Okay, there we go. So we just brought a really bright, unattractive scene to life. We got some nice shadows. We're using 3 different lights, doing some nice camera motion, and doing a little work inside of 3D space. All right.